Hello, I'm Eric, and I'm the leader of the Master of Science in Knowledge Management program here at the Hong Kong Polytechnic University. In our program, we have compulsory subjects, and in particular, the fifth and final compulsory subject, ISE5604, Strategic Issues and Case Studies in Knowledge Management. In that subject, there is a project, I should say a very special project. And tonight, I'm very glad to have three of my graduates with me, Debbie, Mandy, and Horace. Thanks for coming in. Thank you. I just want to ask them, as the first question, what did they recall about that project, and what are some of the learning experience? Perhaps I'll say a little bit about the nature. Now, in that project, the setting is I'll bring in a client, in quote, a real person who may be working for a government sector company, a department, a private company, or even an NGO, a non-government organization. This person comes in, he or she may not know too much about knowledge management, put it this way. So in other words, the description, the explanation that he or she gives can be in layman, or can be in some special terms which may not be easily understood. Anyway, throughout the semester, students will work in groups under the supervision of an academic staff, will study in depth about the issues, service problems that are revealed in this case study. And then at the end of the semester, the client will come back, and students, once again, will have to present to the client live about their recommendations, deliberations, and any other subsequent observations. And I believe that this is a very unique project, and many students confess to me that they've learned a lot out of it. So right now, let me ask the three graduates here, what are your learning experience from that real-life project?
Okay, my experience is really challenging because this project is the first time I experience as a knowledge consultant and contact with the client. And throughout the process, I learned a lot how to identify the customer need. Because at the very beginning, we assume the problem for the customer. And he told us some of the facts he faced in his organization. And then we assume a lot of solution or the problem, the challenging they face in the company. But throughout the process, we have about 3 or 4 times a meeting, and then we learned that at the very beginning we identify a wrong the needs of the customer, and then finally we did a lot of adjustment throughout the process. And this is a great lesson for me and experience for me that this is what a consultant is supposed to be, to get to know your customer need.
Thank you, Debbie. Now I turn to the next graduate, Mandy.
So my impressions of 5604 is a really great subject because we are meeting the clients in the real world. As a client from the government, and Debbie is my team leader. Wow, I learned a lot from Debbie and the clients. The client tells some facts about their company, their organizations, but they don't really know what the problem is. And we try to find the cause of it, but we fell in the middle because we got a rejection from the client. And we learned a lot in the discussion and the communications with them because it is a very big difference of our thinkings and expectations. And then one thing I remember is Debbie, she changed the theme of our report and the presentations, I think just few days, 2 or 3 days before our presentations. And we all agree with her, and then we think it's a good idea to try to put some new idea and some new method into the presentation. And this gives me a really big shock in here because 2 days to modify everything and deliver a presentation at the end.
Now I turn to our third graduate, Horace.
Actually, in this subject, I feel quite unique experience about the project management. Even though I currently do the project management work, but this is the first time for me to deal with the external clients. In my real life, I just dealing with my colleagues in the company. So this is a very unique experience for me to tackle the problem that the language spoke from the client is quite different from what I learned. And also the other quite challenging in the project is that my teammates, my classmates, may have the quite different understanding from the same problem. Which, for example, how they do the using the knowledge tools to solve the current problems. Even though at what stage of the project management that we should propose our solution, we have a different view of that. It's quite a unique experience for me. And also for me, it's very a valuable experience that we need to plan the question very carefully, because without asking the right question, we may give the wrong solution to our clients.
Wonderful. Thanks for the first round of sharing. I can get it that all of you have gained a lot of experience, nice experience from tackling this project. Now let me turn to the second question, which is, armed with learning all this experience, now that you're back to your desk at work, did you find that you've actually been able to apply what you have learned and adjust your dealing of projects and meeting of clients and be able to, to make things a lot more effective than you previously performed? Okay, so let me go through the three students again.
To me, I can apply some quite valuable experience in my real life. For example, just as I said, how to design the question to tackle the real problem. This is very useful because it will help us to do the project more efficiently and effectively. And also how to plan the project timeline and ensure that the deliverables and activity must be done on schedule is very useful for me.
I think this is a really useful subject because it gives me real experience to meet the clients and then how to communicate with the clients, because I don't have such chance in my work. My work is different kinds of it. And I learned more from my team because there is two very experienced students in here, Debbie and the other one is Tommy. They both experienced to work with a client and identify the needs of clients. So I learned more from my team because we really did a project and we successful.
So throughout this process and how I transfer what I learned is I try to plan more the question to ask our customer, and I apply it to my work also when we have a project, and I try to have a meeting with my target client. I will ask them a lot of questions so that I can identify their need more quicker and professional.
Wonderful. And I'd like to, to point out that obviously based on your sharing, I have no doubt that you have gained a lot from this subject and ultimately from our program as well. I'd like to finally thank the three graduates for coming in and recording this valuable interview with us. And thank you very much and see you next time.